Hello, chess Neurites. We all know the famous Bobby Fischer, and probably many of you have seen his game of the century or his epic battles against Boris Spassky during the 1972 World Championship match. Today, I have decided to take a different route and bring you one of Fischer's lesser known gems, played when he was just 13 years old. What's truly remarkable about this game is the maturity that he displayed at such a young age. It's a perfect example of the brilliance and deep understanding that defined Fischer's journey to becoming one of the greatest chess players of all time. So let's dive in and uncover the magic behind this astonishing game together. So this game was played in 1956 against a player named Edmund Nash, and Fischer had black pieces. So let's try to understand this position a bit more. The material is equal. Fischer has double bishop advantage, but those bishops are not that active right now. These rooks are also active, but for the time being, this knight on b4 is strongly placed. This pawn is defending it. If required, c3 can also try to strengthen it. So there is some potential for activity for Fischer on the queen side, but for the time being, white is holding everything together. But Fischer found a really nice way to create weaknesses, to create activity on the queen side. And he started with the move c3. So he's ready to sacrifice the pawn to create weaknesses on white's queen side. So let's say if white plays something like b takes c3. So now Fischer can shift his attention from the b file to c file by playing rook c8, putting pressure on this pawn. Let's say if white defends it by playing knight e2. Then in this position, so he can play the move d5. So the idea is that a3 pawn also gets weak. Let's just try to go back. So his idea behind c3 was not just trying to create activity through the c file, but also weaken that a3 pawn, because the pawn would not be on b2 anymore. And at some point, if the knight moves, then after d5, that bishop can pressure on that pawn, as we saw in that c3, b takes c3, rook c8, knight a2, d5 line. So this was really good, but this is just the beginning. This is not the main reason because of which the game is astonishing. So the things are about to get more interesting. So his opponent did not take the pawn. He played knight d4. He's like, I am going to improve my knight's position with a tempo. And then I might capture the pawn, or I might do something else. So it seems like, if Fischer can play something like rook e5 and try to take this pawn, we have to be careful. Knight c6, and suddenly it's a bit of an issue. So what should Fischer do? Should Fischer play something like rook b6 and then stop knight c6 ideas and then try to continue? Maybe. But Fischer actually played an absolutely brilliant move. By the way, if you want to make an attempt, you can pause the video here and resume once you are ready with the move. So he played the move rook c5. Wait, what? Did Fischer just blunder the exchange? Did he overlook knight a6? I mean, he's just 13. We can excuse him for such blunders. I mean, it happens, so everyone blunders. No, this was not the blunder. This was the brilliance, as I mentioned earlier. He deliberately allowed white to play knight a6. He's like, I'm defending this pawn of mine. You want to play knight a6? You do it. And if opponent is like, no, I don't want to do it, I'll play b3. But that also won't help him a lot, because now there is rook a8. So the point is, he can try to put pressure through this, and this is not a fun position for white to play. So white is like, no, I'm going to get your exchange. Prove your compensation. Fischer, he's not the person who will shy away from the challenges. He played rook takes b2. So he won this pawn. He got the rook on the second rank. So knight takes d5, then d takes c5. So d takes c5 was played. This knight is under pressure. Now knight f3. See, it's really important to not to be in a rush, because we can be like, oh yeah, Fischer would have captured this pawn and then this is a pass pawn. No, there's the idea of this rook b7, and suddenly the game can get quite complicated. So Fischer was not going to allow such activity of the opponent. So however the position is, we must always be cautious about our opponent's ideas. The danger is not just about rook c2, rook b7. The danger is also about white's current idea. That is, rook takes b2, c takes b2, rook b1. The problem is there is no bishop f6 because e5 will happen and then the b2 pawn will be lost. Fischer recognized that neither can he take the pawn nor he can allow white to play this idea. Otherwise, that will be trouble if that pass pawn is gone. So because he has sacrificed material, he cannot give up this b2 pawn. So he played a really nice move in this position. He played c4. What a brilliant move, because it seems like what is he doing? So he is activating this bishop and he's readying him for rook b2, c b2, rook b1. In some cases, if bishop takes a3, then maybe the knight can come and do something. So bishop takes a3 is also there, and another idea behind c4, that is to play c3. So this is a really nice move c4 because it activates the bishop and it also allows that pawn to go to c3 if white captures on b2. So white did not capture there. White played knight e5. White is putting up the pressure, so centralizing the knight with a tempo. See, there is no way. The weight of this pawn is worth the gold. So that pawn needs to be there. There is no way Fischer is going to give up that pawn. He played bishop b5. He's like, okay, I'll defend my bishop, but I'll do it in such a way that my pawn is defended. Now, he's threatening to play bishop takes a3, and then he can start pushing this pass pawn. So white actually played rook takes b2, c takes b2, then c3. He's like, all right, I'll just try to stay solid. For example, if something like bishop takes a3, then rook b1. That's what he was planning, because if this bishop moves, then this might fall. If the a3 bishop moves, then b2 might fall, and then white might be able to try to create some activity in the meantime. Oh, Fischer is like, I'm not worried about the pawn. I'll do something else. He played bishop f6. He's just bringing the bishop on this diagonal. By the way, one more thing I want to notice, and we can excuse Fischer for not playing that move, but black had just an unexpected move, a completely unexpected move that would win him the game quickly. By the way, bishop f6 played by Fischer also wins him the game, but in a slightly longer version, while if he had played an unexpected move, that would have ended the game a bit more faster. So let's see what that move could be. Maybe if you want, you can pause the video here and you can resume once you're ready with that unexpected move. So the best move in this position. So here there are, as I said, multiple winning moves, but still the best move is bishop b4. What a move actually, because one pass pawn is there and black is ready to sacrifice the bishop, because if a takes b4, then there is a3, a2, and in this position if there is c takes b4, then there is c3, c2. So, and if white does not take it, then there's bishop takes c3 and it should be winning. But I mean, we can understand Fischer for not playing this move, and since his move is also winning, it's not like it made that significant of a difference. But I thought, let me just show you. So he played bishop f6. So his plan is pretty simple, attacking the knight. If the knight moves, say somewhere here, he can just take this pawn, move the bishop, and then just play c3, c2. Combined with the double bishops and these two connected pass pawns on c file and b file, it's just game over. So his opponent played rook b1, and now the game soon ended. So bishop e8, keeping this pawn defended, rook b4 was played, and then just bishop b2. This pawn will soon fall, and if we just look at this, he pushed this pawn. Now we improved the bishop's position so that he can play a2. Now he played king g6. Of course, he's not worried about this bishop because this pawn will promote, and then just bishop c5, and then bishop d4, and his opponent resigned. So a brilliant game by 13-year-old Fischer, where it was not just about the c3 idea, it was the exchange sacrifice he gave with this move of rook c5, because that's what helped him in truly weakening, truly taking advantage of that c3 move. And after that, with the help of the rook, the fast pawns, and those bishops, right now they are not active, but how he activated them later on to win the game was just truly brilliant. Thanks everyone for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.